Hey guys, day 7, video 7. I know I'm behind, so I don't even know what day it's supposed to be. Today I did Stephen King's Misery. I know some people might tell me this isn't a horror movie. It might not be a horror movie, but I feel like if it's got Stephen King's name on it, it should count. Because the man knows his horror movies, books, things. Hell of a good movie. I haven't read the book, so I'm probably not qualified for this. I am reading The Shining, but I did that last year, so. So what we got? James Caan and Kathy Bates. James Caan. Pillars of 90s, early 90s, late 80s movies. The casting was brilliant, I think. Kathy Bates, I think, was a brilliant cast choice for this role because, you know what I mean? It can't be like a model doing this role. It's got to be someone who looks strong and someone who's also not... She's not, like, conventionally that attractive. Not, like, ugly, but, you know what I mean? She's not, like, anybody you'd, like, ooh, look at... You know what I mean? She's like a very plain-looking woman. Not what you would expect for, like... Though the funny line was in the film, she's like, I'm not, like, a Hollywood movie type. Yes, you are. But, you know... But that's the idea. Good casting. The film doesn't hang about for a second. It's literally like the first scene. He gets in his car and then bang, car crash in the snow. Done. So, I say spoiler alert, this film came out a long time ago. So if you haven't seen this film or read the book, you should have done that. And I don't even need to say spoiler video because it's an old film. So she pulls him out of the car, crowbar, breaks the door open, gets him out. And when he wakes up a few days later in bed with 2 broken legs, and the rest of him broken as well, she's like, I'm your #1 fan. Ain't no celebrity in the world who wants to hear, like, words, I'm your #1 fan. Probably because of this book. You're like, weirdo alert, you know, he wants me for my money or something. You know. So anyway, he's gone so long, the police start his agents start making calls to the local police. So the sheriff said, I'll put it through our filing system, which is just a post-it note on the wall behind him. The sheriff's wife is a phone call. Must be a busy morning. So it's just like nothing happens out there. It's in the middle of the sticks, in the middle of nowhere. So it's like news doesn't like they don't really get the outside world's news. Obviously, the only thing they really get is Paul Sheldon's books. You know, the character from this story. I've not said that yet. So it starts out like, it's fine, she's just a nurse who's taken me in, how nice of her. Then he hears the phone lines are out, so he can't call his family. Of course the phone lines are out. She's like, oh, but they'll be back soon, don't worry about it. So he doesn't worry about it. And she finds that he's written a new book, so... I don't know what the book is. It's the book... I think the book in his case is nothing to do with the Misery books. I think it's a whole new book, I think. I'm not sure. It doesn't really go into it. But as it happens, she buys the new Misery book at the same time. So I don't even know which book it is she's reading. Is she reading the book from his briefcase or is she reading the Misery book? I don't know which come into the store. There's 2 books. Anyway, what the first sign something's up is when she flips over him having swearing in his book. You know, and she's like, no one talks like that, no one's like, you know, I want some of that effing pig feet, you know. And then he was just like, he was scared, you know, he was vulnerable. And he was like, this woman's a little unhinged. And the next scene's really funny, he's got the sheriff in the car with his wife. You know, and she like puts her hand on his leg and he pulls it off. He's like, when you're in this car, you are my deputy. And this deputy would rather be at home in bed with the sheriff. Damn, old lady. No, I love it. The sheriff and his wife should have a sitcom. Those 2 are brilliant. I mean, screw the rest of the characters. Minor characters. When I write stuff, I give the minor characters roles. I mean, my stories aren't good, but at least I give everybody a purpose. Oh yeah, then the sheriff is going through the snow, and he falls on his ass, and then he's like, "Oh screw it, let's go home." If he'd have taken a few more steps further, he would have found Paul's car, and maybe this would have been a much shorter film. Who knows? So I love it. She gets in the car to go to town, and he's like, "So the roads are open now? Only the one to town is open." Whatever, you know. So I don't know if she's lying or if maybe there was, but long story short, you ain't going nowhere. And then she's like, I was on the phone, and he's like, the phones are open? Just the one to the hospital. What does that even mean, just the phone to the hospital, you know? Are the phone's in or are the phone's out, you know? Or was she at the hospital? I don't know, but I mean, again, it's like her story's shaky. She carries on, she flips out again, because in the new Misery book, Misery dies in childbirth. So I'm guessing she's reading Misery's Child, the one she bought in the store. She flips. You know, she calls him a murderer. Does she know this is a character in the story? Like, you know, like, as in, there's been like 8 books or whatever, you know, like, the character's probably going to die in the end. And again, he's a good writer. He's done his research. He said most women did die in childbirth in those times. You know, it was a sad time to be living. And then she's, oh, by the way, I never called the doctor. You know, you ain't going nowhere. And you gotta treat me right, because if I die, you die. And then he's like, holy fucking shit, she's officially crazy. You know, so this is where he's like, I'm gonna need to get out of here. He tries to run away, but the door is locked to his bedroom. Where's he gonna go? He's got 2 broken legs that are like strapped in a, like, you can't move them. They're stuck like that. So there's no like bending your knees on a, you know, you can't walk, you know. And it's snowing, you know. If you tried to crawl on all fours, you wouldn't make it past the driveway. You'd freeze to death, you know. There's nothing he can do. You know, what was it she said? Something about the witness stand in Denver, and then drops it at that, and then like everyone, I've seen the film before, obviously, but then like when I watched this time, I was like, witness stand in Denver, you know. I don't remember, but I know, as I know where this story is going. When she said that, I was like, oh shit, she gave away too much there. Oh, and she basically tells him to. Okay, now this is where it gets confusing. The book he's writing in his briefcase. Now she's reading that one, and because it's got all the swearing, etc., she tells him to burn it. And he's like, I can't burn it, you know. I've been working on this book for ages, you know. I need to bring it to my publicist. She's like, no, you're not going nowhere, you know. He tries pulling some bull story about, oh no, I've made tons of copies, and she's like, no, you don't, because she's his #1 fan, isn't she? She knows his method. She knows that he doesn't make copies because he's superstitious. So she makes him burn the book, which that was like one of the hardest things to watch, you know. Maybe as a writer, I don't know. I mean, if I've been working on something like for that long, I'll be like, hell no. And then she says, you're going to write a new book. And he's like, what? No, I'm not. I'm done with Misery. No. She's like, no, you're going to write a new book and you're going to bring her back from the dead. You know, lady, you're crazy. So she buys him an old typewriter with no ends. I'm like, how the hell are you going to like write a book with no ends? Apparently she filled the ends in with a pen, I think. She's like, you're going to bring her back from the dead. So he reluctantly agrees because he hasn't really got much choice. But he said, oh, I can't use this paper. And she's like, it's the most expensive paper. And he's like, oh yeah, well, I need a long grain memory, you know, because this paper smudges. And she flipped again. But I think the reason she flipped in this scene was because it was a fact about Paul Sheldon she did not know. And then she's like, but I'm his #1 fan. She was more angry at herself than she was at him. So she slams the paper down on his broken legs, and then she pisses off to the store. But now he's got an opportunity. So he sees a hairpin she dropped on the floor. So he uses it to try and open the door, and he's like, come on, this has to work, I've written about this. I love that. So you could research about women dying of childbirth in like the 1800s, but you can't research whether a hairpin unlocks a door. It does, apparently. So he gets out. He goes to one of the rooms and he finds the phone. There's all the innards of the phone have been taken out. There's no wires in it. It's just a shell. No dial tone. And when he realises she's coming back, he like panics. He knocks the table and a penguin falls off. He puts the penguin back. Close up of the penguin. You know. And I think, you know, he goes into her medicine cabinet and he kind of grabs a few, like sort of a bunch of the pain medicine she's giving him, stuffs it into his shorts. And then he manages to get back to the room before she comes in. He sees that the pills are sticking out of his shorts, so he kind of goes like that to cover it up. And this is genius. She's like, what have you been doing? You're swearing. I've been here in pain, you know. And she's like, oh, I'll get you more pain pills, you know. So then when she's gone, he can straighten himself up. Next scene, they finally pull the car out of the snow. And they're like, oh, he must have crawled away and frozen to death. And the detective, the sheriff is a good detective. He sees the dents on the side of the car. And he says, someone must have pulled him out. This man is a good detective, and you'll find out later how genius this man is. Anyway, and now Paul's got a new plan to try and escape. He gets all those pills that he got, and he makes a little cup out of paper, and he puts all the powder from the pills in to try and overdose her, I guess. And when he's finished the book, he's like, I'm going to want 2 glasses of wine, one for me, one for you to celebrate. And he pours the wine. He pours the powder into the wine. I think she's going to overdose, die, or I don't know. It's not good for you, is it? I don't know what would happen. You probably don't know what happened. It's just hopefully something bad, right? But she spills it, you know, and there goes that plan. There goes all of the pills, you know. And it rains that night, and she's like fucking. I'm sorry, guys, but she's like. The rain always gives me the blues, and then she pulls out like a gun, you know, and it's like, okay, why the hell do you have? I know you live on a farm, but why the hell are you pointing a gun at me? You know. Next time she goes out, he leaves his room, finds a scrapbook, and I don't know why she kept this scrapbook, but it is full of not evidence but speculation that she worked in a children's hospital. A lot of babies were dying. I reckon she may have killed a bunch of babies. I think maybe with her anger issues, maybe like a baby was crying, she couldn't get the baby to stop crying, so she killed it. I don't know, but anyway, I think it was in court. And there's a bit about she said something about there is justice greater than any man. I shall only be judged by him, being God, I guess. Anyway. So when he's out, he grabs the kitchen knife. Surely she's going to see the kitchen knife is gone, I guess. I don't know. And at some point, and he stuffs it under his mattress, but at some point she's going to change the sheets, right? Foolishly, he's like, see you in the morning. Then he goes to sleep, and you dumb fool, you know, wakes up in the middle of the night, and she's there standing over him, you know, finds a kitchen knife, and she like injects him, knocks him out, you know. And in the morning, she's like, I know you got out, you know, kitchen knife. I know you saw the scrapbook, And I know you knocked the penguin off the table because he always faces south. Every time someone knocks something off and they show the clothes, you're like, there's some significance there, and like, I'm sure he must have put it back in the wrong position. This is the worst part of the film. She's like, oh, do you know what they used to do to miners back in the day? It was called hobbling. Like, they needed to stop them from running away, so they'd break their ankles. And he's like, God, no. And my mum's seen this, and she's like, God, no. My girlfriend's not seen this, and she's like, what's going on? So when I saw Deadpool with my mate Al, he's handcuffed, and he's like, you ever see that movie, 127 Hours? Al's not seen 127 Hours. I have. And I'm there like, God, no. And Al's like, what's going to happen? Oh my God, he cut his hand off. And this was the same kind of thing. Like, she put a plank of wood between his ankles, whacked his ankles with a sledgehammer, and this is good filmmaking. You see his foot do... that's good filmmaking. I don't know how they did that. Maybe you just kind of turned it inwards or something. I don't know. That looked good. That did. That's an old film, but old films sometimes do it well because they don't rely on CGI, so they need to find ways to do it real. And it looks more real because they've actually done it, not broken his legs, but they've made something, they've constructed something, And then the creepiest thing, she's like, God, I love you. Do you say that to all the guys you break their ankles? I love you, kinky or something, I don't know. And then the sheriff, he's not a detective, but he might as well be, he should get promoted. He's reading a Paul Sheldon book, and he sees the line, justice is greater than any man, I shall be judged by him. And he's like, where have I heard that before? Gets out the newspaper clippings, and he sees she quoted it. Then he sees all the things she's done, and then he's like, she must be his number one fan. She quoted the book, and I know she has a history of murder. So he's like, maybe it's nothing, but I'm going to go and check out her house. She hides him in the basement. And she's got a cover story, She's like, oh, no, I heard it's terrible, And she's like, oh, the spare room. Oh, I'm writing my own book, I'm going to write my own Paul Sheldon book. And this is when it's not illegal, but you're like, this woman's a little bit odd, Nothing untoward. So he's getting ready to go. And last second, Paul knocks over the barbecue that he used to burn the book earlier. Sheriff runs back in, opens the cupboard under the stairs, sees Paul in the cupboard under the stairs, but then she shoots him with a shotgun. If he was... again, he knew she was in the building, but his concern was saving him, not getting her. So he died, sadly. And then she said, I think the time was come, she's going to have to kill him. This is where Paul's out a stroke of genius. And he's like, we have to finish the book. We must die so that misery can live. And she's going to go for that, and she's going to be all over that. So this gives him time to think. And he finishes the book. He writes it, and she's all excited, like, oh my goodness, the book's going to be amazing. So he's like, get me 2 glasses. And... we're gonna, toast the finish of the book. And she puts the gun on the tray. And he's like, oh yeah, that thing. When she goes out, he gets the lighter fluid, which he found in the cupboard under the stairs, sprays it all over the book, lights it, and he's like, everything you want to know, all in this book. I'm going to burn it. And she's like, you're crazy. I learned it from you. And he sets it on fire. And when she's busy trying to put the book out, he picks up the typewriter and decks it. And the whole film, he's been using the typewriter as a weight to build his strength up for this very moment. All planned. I don't know if he's been planning this from day one. I don't think he's been planning this from day one, but he's been working on it. Bits and pieces over time. Smack it with the head. That doesn't even kill her. So there's like a fight, you know, she kicks him in the nards, he jabs her eyeballs until they bleed, you know, then she falls over. She falls over and hits her head on the statue of a pig. I think that is what kills her. I would have shot her anyway, just to be sure. And it fast forwards a while, he's a walking stick, he's more or less back to health. But she's like, are you okay? And he's like, I don't know if anyone truly gets over that. And he sees the waitress coming in the restaurant and he sees Annie's face. You know, but obviously it's not her, and he snaps out of it and he sees it's just someone else. And then she's like, you know, like, I'm your #1 fan. And I'm like, oh shit, this is going to happen all over again. Misery 2, The Waitress. I don't think there is any Misery 2. If there was, I'm sure Stephen King would do a good job. You know, but I think it was quite ironic though that she named the pig Misery. She died by hitting her head on the pig statue. It was misery that killed her. Brilliant film, brilliant film. I've been watching this film all my life now, and it's like it's kind of like a film. Like, you know, I love this film. I don't think it's had a reboot yet. I don't think this film needs a reboot yet. They'll probably do it anyway because me included, everyone's high on Stephen King right now, so maybe they will. Which would be a shame because I like this movie. It doesn't need to be changed. They're doing everything. They did everything right, you know. I don't know. But I do have a reboot in the works for this series, so yeah. Darn good movie. Nothing bad to say about this movie. I'll do another video. Anyway, so for now, J-Man out.
Let me in.